Welcome back to the Active Turnkey Podcast. I'm your host, Jarrod Stotmeister. Normally, I host in a studio, but I thought we might be able to get out in the field a little bit here before the weather turns, and we can start showing you some of the houses that we have, show you differences in how we may determine repairs based upon exit strategies and where you're at with the property. So this one here behind me is 2180 Massachusetts. This one is a property that we have that we're selling active turnkey. We just sent out to our list. And the point for this is to kind of show you, the differences, what we're doing to improve. This is a 3-bed, 1-bath brick, all brick except for the front and back porches. And basically when we're all done, this thing's going to be top to bottom brand new. All new electrical, roof, all mechanics will be updated. And then of course we'll get the finishes done as well. So all new flooring, kitchens, baths, all that stuff. So we'll walk through here and just kind of give you an idea. When it comes to this kind of house, it's usually pretty standard. I mean, we're going to have to replace a lot. It's kind of basic. And so sometimes investors get in, they try to pick and choose what they're going to do. And in many cases, the cost is almost the same. If you're going to go in there and say, I don't want to do this and that, you almost should just go in there and do everything. And it's not going to be much difference in price. And by the time you're done, everything's updated, everything's new. And now you're going to have a house that an investor's going to want to have, a tenant's going to want to pay your high-end rent, all that stuff. So we're going to take a walk through the property, through the house, and show you kind of stuff where we're going to upgrade at this property. So again, I'm here at 2180 Massachusetts. First of all, just looking at this, first of all, it's all brick. There's some minor tuck pointing here that's done, but the brick is, for the most part, in pretty good shape. It's original, obviously, but it's in really good shape. So it's a little weather, but nothing big. The front siding is aluminum, and that would have been added on later to the porch. They would have had most likely an open porch originally. If you look at the roof, it actually isn't horrible if you look at it, but we're actually replacing it all. You see the chimney up top. It's had some serious issues. In fact, we've even had some water inside. So once we get that cleared out, capped off, we're actually going to cap it off completely in the attic. And so we'll have all new roof. We'll have high efficiency furnace and water heater, and so that'll help us with that. So we'll have new roof. We'll have updated mechanics with the furnace and water heater. The roof will include capping off. If you see this gable up here, that we'll cap that off and make it really inviting. We'll trim some of these branches naturally. Up front here, we'll do the cosmetic stuff. I believe we're moving the awning, getting rid of that. We'll replace the railings, paint the stoop, do landscaping, all the normal cosmetic stuff you would expect. We would certainly also do the address numbers, mailbox, and of course, as is always important, take a look at that permit in the window. You want to see that from your contractors. In fact, guys, if you're going to hire people to do that, you're going to want to hire them and have them show that before you give them any more money. Make sure you're doing that. Now, in this case, that does have an AC unit, and our strategy is active turnkey, so we're talking about holding this as rental. Most of the time, guys, we don't put in new AC units. This one sitting here, just looking at it, it's definitely not new. It has a little bit of, it looks like some people kind of, if you look at the bottom left, like some things kind of ding that maybe when they were mowing the lawns. In this case, it's up to the owner here. Oftentimes we just pull it, because if you provide AC to the tenant, now you're going to need to provide it. If for some reason this fails and you don't want to put a new one in, now you gotta provide it. Now maybe you put in window units, but that's an expense that you may not want to have. Now some investors do choose to provide AC for their tenants, for their occupants, and that's fine, that's great, but it's just a cost to keep in mind. So sometimes we have them inspected if they're in really good shape, and just to make sure everything's good. But in some cases we actually just remove it all together, so not to have to incur future costs for the investor. When it comes to the exterior here, all these windows are getting replaced. All these windows, we actually, at this point, I think the intent is to replace some of the damage here on this carport, but to leave it. There is no garage, so this would give them a place to park their vehicles. We would inspect it, make sure there are some repairs needed for it, but you could park a vehicle inside the gate under the shelter here, which would be nice. But like I said, all new windows, they'll all be wrapped. It does have a fenced yard here in the back, which is nice. The house is actually located in the Broadway corridor. So it's a significant area where, frankly, a few years ago, people would want to stay away from. But right now, the city is doing massive amount of work here, tearing down buildings, opening it up for future potential. So this property is a long-term investment for sure. That's gonna, I would tell you as an investor that this has potential for some appreciation down the road. Back here, all this is going to be updated and repaired. There's some repairs back there to the, if you look down there, there's some repairs to the back porch. That'll be stabilized properly, a new stairs, the door will be, the new doors, all that stuff. One unique thing for this property, and we actually had Tom come and look at it, is this back garage here. Behind the fence. So this is almost the entire width of the lot, and I asked Tom about it, and his recommendation was to leave it. It could give them a place of safety or to play or just some fun area, but the idea here is to clean all this up. This was actually completely covered in overgrowth. It's been cut down since, but there's some repairs due to the walls, some minor repairs, but instead of tearing it down, this actually does give them a fenced yard for their kids to play or to plant things or what have you. So it's the entire width, almost the entire width of the lot. Very unique thing here, but shouldn't have any hindrances, and it actually only has the one entrance right here at the backyard, so there is no alley access. So that's kind of a perk, you would say, to that. So here we go. We're wrapping around. It does have a basement access down here. This will all be cleaned up, painted. We'll have a new door installed there. There is some work here to the fencing, so that will need to be done. And like I mentioned, there is a ton of stuff happening here in Gary. They're tearing down all kinds of buildings, and right in this area, within this shot of where I'm standing. And so this has some significant appreciation down the road. If you look down there, there's some trucks there. They're rehabbing that house right down there. From a distance, you might even be able to see the wrap on the siding that they're doing. So there are other rehabs happening here. So we're going to come inside now, and in here we decided, at least for now, the intent is to remove all the windows and make this original. We're going to have it open. We're going to clean all this up, paint everything. It's all going to look nice, but the windows are coming out and it's going to be open, and there's also going to be some work here to the trim and all that, but it's all going to be ripped out. We're going to have new flooring in here, so all this will be new. And then you can see the nice brick here on the front. These windows are going to be replaced as well. And we walk in here. There's already been a significant clean out. There's still a little bit left, but it's just whatever's left over, really. But you can already see some of the character here in this craftsman build. It's got some of the original woodwork here with the glass, which is really nice. So that'll be a perk once this gets cleaned up and looking nice. But we got our living room here. We got our dining room. All this will be painted, and you'll have new lighting. Updated lighting for sure. And here's bedroom one, and bedroom one does have some hardwood floors. So the idea here would be to refinish these, and actually if you look at it, it's in pretty good shape overall. So as of right now, the intent is to go with either hardwood or vinyl throughout. So we'll have hard surfaces either way. We're entering into the dining room. Again, new windows. The benefit to this is everything's gonna be updated. But if you look, there's also some added character here, things that you don't normally get in a turnkey deal nowadays. You got high ceilings, you got some crown molding, you got trim up there, and then you got the big high base down here. So this will all be cleaned up and looking pretty. But these are the type of things that you just don't get on new houses that we'll be saving for this property. Here, just walking in through there, this is actually the first bedroom we were in, and now if you look here, this is the bathroom. This will be gutted completely. Everything will be replaced top to bottom, and this will all be a completely new bathroom. This doorway here is going to be eliminated, and so this will lead us around here from the dining to bedroom 2. Same thing goes for here. All this will be cleaned up. Everything will be new flooring, and we will. I think the intention is to save the doors. I'd actually have to check the scope, but either way, the doors will be either painted or new, and so this will be pretty basic for this room. And this leads us to the kitchen, and this will be completely gutted. Everything is out. So this is a pretty, again, if you take a look at it, this is a pretty significant rehab. The purchase price is low, and the reason why is because of the amount of rehab that's going on. But all this is coming out, and we'll have all new cabinets, new quartz countertops, backsplash, appliances. It'll look gorgeous. And then this is the access point to bedroom 3. And again, all bedrooms are above grade. And again, each bedroom has the base, and the bedrooms don't have the crown molding up top, but they do have the high base on the bottom, which is, again, just an addition that you don't normally get. We come around here, we're almost finished with this rehab, or with the walkthrough. Here's the back porch area. All of this is going to be cleaned up and repaired. The windows are actually good back here. We're probably going to leave these windows, but clean up everything, paint, secure the doors, put new doors in here. Everything will be cleared up. And then there is a full unfinished basement down here. Again, don't mind the mess. This will all be cleaned up and look gorgeous. For this rehab, we will not be finishing anything down here. So all this will be cleaned up, and then all that will happen down here is paint once it's cleaned up and done. All paint floors, ceilings, and walls. Now, if you can look here, you got the block on the base, and you got the brick up top, and a really neat space down here. Over here is this furnace that's going to be completely updated, brand new. We already mentioned that's going to be high efficiency, and then over here we have the new, we'll have a new water heater as well. That'll be high efficiency. So really big space down here, folks. And if you look at it, high ceilings, and all this will be scraped and cleaned, and it'll look nice and down here. But the potential long term for finished space is significant. So this will be a big addition for an owner to be able to use this space for finished space long term. And so it's very difficult to add square feet. So for the potential here, at this point, again, we're not refinishing it, but we do have the long-term opportunity for finished space. This area could be gutted completely, just ripped out. This tank is going to be gone. All this could be in the future ripped out, and it even has kind of the lower windows, as you can see. So when it's time down the road to put an egress, it'll be nice and easy when you want to add bedrooms 1 or 2 down here. So great long-term potential here. So if you're looking for opportunities, I would say here that the base, everything will be new, everything will be updated. The basement has the potential long-term for refinishing to add finished square feet. And then lastly, the Broadway corridor, the opportunity they have that they're just putting tons of cash, tons of money in this area, is making this an incredible offer here, or opportunity rather, for a brick property in Gary. And again, at this price points, they're getting more and more difficult to find. And so that's what we're doing here for an active turnkey rehab. And again, it needs everything. And so in this type of situation, if you're getting deals from wholesalers, you're getting deals from agents, and they're trying to say, hey, you can kind of save this and that, folks. If you're trying to get max rent, if you're trying to get max ARV for your cash out when you're done, do not play around. Make sure you're getting everything you need to get done to be able to capitalize on that. Just speaking with appraisers, they will ding you. And so you need to go all the way. You need to do what you need to do to again, the end goal is to try to be in the deal as little as possible, but you don't want to mess around with that appraisal or with that rent. Do what you got to do to make it happen. But this is 2180, still available, just went out to the list this past week. And if you're watching this long term, this is an opportunity for you to see kind of what happens when we're looking for a deal and what we're going to do and what options and perks we're looking at long term. Thanks for joining me so far on this trip today. And if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. And Active Turnkey, the best way to buy rentals. We'll see you, folks.